What's up, you guys? It's Cody Steck. Well, welcome back to the channel, Living in Salt Lake City, where I talk about everything you need to know about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, and play here along the Wasatch Front. If you're thinking about making a move here to Utah, if you're thinking about moving to Salt Lake City, to Provo, to Lehigh, Park City, Heber City, Tooele, Bountiful, any of these cities here along the Wasatch Front, then make sure to reach out to me. My information's here on the screen. Contact me anytime, call, text, or email. I absolutely love it when you guys reach out, and I cannot wait to hear from you as well about your potential move here to the beautiful state of Utah. So without further ado, let's jump into this video topic here. We're going to talk about the 5 things to know when it comes to moving to Utah, especially if you're coming from California. Now, these things are going to apply regardless of where you're coming from, but I get so many people who want to move out of California and come here to Utah that I wanted to kind of make this video a little bit more specific for those people there particularly. Like I said, this video is going to cover a lot of those topics, especially if you're coming from California, but they're also going to apply even if you're coming from another part of the world. So if you're not in California, don't worry, there's still some good information here for you. So let's jump into number 1. Utah has seen massive growth over the past couple of years. I've been selling real estate here for 6 years now, and I was born and raised here in Utah. I've seen the massive amounts of growth that have happened here in Utah over just my lifetime. You know, when I think about growing up here in Sandy where I live, I actually, remember when Sandy was kind of just a small town out on the suburbs of the actual overall county. Now Sandy is thriving. Sandy is almost completely built out, and some of the areas where it used to be just farmland, I think of Harriman and Bluffdale, are honestly bustling more than they ever have, and it's going to continue to go in that direction. I've seen a lot of people move here over the past couple of years. In fact, because of this YouTube channel, I've helped numerous people, dozens of people, make the move here to Utah, and a lot of them are ending up in these newer areas. The pandemic that we had only exaggerated this process and increased the amount of people who are making the move here to Utah. We saw a lot of people who are now looking at themselves saying, hey, I work from home now, I can work from anywhere, why not live in a beautiful state like Utah, pay lower taxes, and have a better quality of life, right? So the pandemic brought in a lot of those people, but then on top of that, Utah has been adding job after job after job, and that's bringing in a lot of people from out of state as well. 2 of the major industries that we have here in Utah are healthcare and tech. When it comes to healthcare and tech, typically you want really highly qualified people in those positions. Well, when you're doing that, although we do have a great selection of employees here in Utah, people who already live here that could be hired, oftentimes these companies are recruiting nationwide, if not worldwide, and bringing those people here into the state to work for their company. So we're getting a lot of people from out of state for those exact reasons. 1, because they want to get out of where they're living because they're working from home or they just need a change, or 2, they're moving here because of the amazing jobs that we now have. This has caused home prices to go up significantly, especially over just the past 2 years. If we look back from July 2020 to July of 2021, we saw an over 24% increase in the cost of housing during these 12 months. If we go back and look at the data from July 2019 to July 2021, we saw an over 36% increase in the cost of housing during this time. That's absolutely mind-blowing. This information here is for Salt Lake County, and a lot of the other counties are seeing the exact same thing as well. So yes, housing prices have gone up significantly. If you're watching some of my original videos that I made in 2019, the end of that year, you're going to say, wait, Cody, these prices are kind of far off from where they're at now. And yes, that's true. I'm going to be going back and updating a lot of those videos, but just keep that in mind that home prices have gone up, and so the market may be a little bit different if you're moving here at this time. All right, now the second thing that I want to talk about is traffic. We don't have the crazy traffic that California has. I know that in a lot of major cities in California, the traffic is almost unbearable, but people have an hour, if not 2-hour commute just to get into the office or get to the place where they work. That's absolutely insane. I think there are some people here in Utah who maybe commute up to an hour, but for most people, it's probably 15 to 30 minutes at most. The good thing about the traffic that we have here in Utah is it's quite minimal, and we have pretty good north and south access using Bangerter Highway, Mountain View Corridor, or I-15, which runs right up the middle. But unfortunately, the east and west access is not quite as good because it's a little bit harder to go from one side of the valley to the other side using just the side and city streets. They ultimately could use some improvements when it comes to this, but it's not nearly as bad as what you see in California. So if you're coming from out of state, I think you're really going to appreciate the lack of traffic that we have here in the state. Even if you're coming from another city, you're going to be surprised with how little traffic we have here in Salt Lake City. There are a few areas like Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs, and Harriman where I think the traffic is going to get really, really bad before it gets any better. But unfortunately, that's just the reality of a city that's growing much quicker than they can actually keep up with. So the next thing that you want to know if you're making a move here to Utah is we have amazing outdoor activities. Yes, this is actually a really good thing, and you'll want to know about it, especially if you're considering a move here to the area. Now, I know some people will argue, oh, well, California has the beach and they've got mountains and trees and forests and whatever, and they got all this stuff where you can go and do those things. And yes, I agree, but that's not exactly as accessible as it is for most people when comparing to here in Utah. If you want to get out and do something outdoors, you can do literally any outdoor activity that you want to do, sub minus ocean surfing. You can do any of those activities in under an hour, right? If you want to go mountain biking, or you want to go hiking, skiing, snowboarding, climbing, ice climbing, if you want to do any of these activities, you can do them in under an hour drive from wherever you live if you're here along the Wasatch Front. So the access to the outdoor activities is unparalleled when comparing to almost any other city or area in the entire world. And to add on to that, I mean, think about all of the amazing national parks that we have down in southern Utah. We've got Zion National Park, we've got Grand Canyon, we've got Arches, we've got Moab, we've got all of these amazing places just a couple hours drive away. This is awesome to have this in our backyard, and it makes for an easy weekend trip getaway. The next thing that you want to know about moving to Utah, especially if you're coming from California, is that getting to other areas might be a little bit more difficult. Now, this also applies to people who are moving from the Northeast, where, you know, a lot of the major cities that you might want to visit are grouped really close together and you can get to them within a couple hours. Well, out here in Utah, you know, we're kind of out here on our own, right? There's not really any other major cities nearby. You've got Boise, which is about 4.5 hours north. You've got Denver, which is like 6 or 7 hours east. And then you've got Las Vegas, which is 6 hours south. So we do have those other cities that you can get to within that amount of time for driving. But if you want to get out of town for a vacation or just to travel, you're most likely going to have to fly, right? If you want to get to California or Texas or Florida or even out of the country, of course you're going to be flying to get to most of those locations. So you just have to factor that in, that it's going to take some travel time in order to get where you want to go. I think for somebody like myself who grew up here, it's easy to say, oh man, it'd be nice to live in New York and be able to drive to Philadelphia or Boston or Washington, D.C. in just a couple of hours because they have so much to do there. You know, for somebody who doesn't live there, that would be really, really cool. But I think most people coming in from out of the state would actually look at this differently and say, why the heck would you want to go to New York or to Boston or Philadelphia when you've literally got all these outdoor activities so close? You've got all these national parks. You've got so many cool things to do here when you get outdoors. That's the stuff that people are really moving here for, right? That's the reason they want to come here, and that's what they're looking for. So that's something that you might be thinking as well. You might say, Cody, you're kind of a little crazy, you know, saying that that's kind of a negative or whatever, that you have to, you know, travel a long distance to get to other cities when you have so much amazing outdoor recreation right there next to you. That's the actual recreation and vacation that most people need. Hey guys, it's me again here. I'm in a different outfit on a different day. Unfortunately, during the editing process, we realized there was a problem with the audio file as we got to the end of the video, so we're here filming this again for you. Let's jump into number 5. Number 5, the culture and politics are going to be very different than you're actually used to. If you're coming from California, especially one of the major cities, you might be used to those left-leaning policies, whereas here in Utah, you're going to find that the policies are very much right-leaning. So this is something you need to take into account. That may be a good thing for you, it may be a bad thing. I'm not here to talk politics. I'm just simply here to state the facts of what the reality of the situation is going to be if you make that move here. So politics are not only going to be different, but also the culture is going to be different. I can't tell you how many times I've heard of people who visit here or actually end up moving here and then say, Cody, I can't believe how clean it is here. I can't believe how nice people are. People talk to you. They say hi. They just talk to you at the store, and it's a little bit weird, right? Well, that's just kind of the culture that we have here in Utah. So again, whether that's what you're looking for, whether it's not what you're looking for. Now, I don't know if that's going to be a pro or a con for you, but it is something that you need to know if you're moving from another state over here to Utah. So with that said, guys, if you're still thinking about making a move here to Utah and you're looking at purchasing real estate during that move, then reach out to me. My information is here on the screen. Call, text, or email anytime. I absolutely love it when you guys reach out. I've had people from all across the United States reach out, and even internationally, from Japan to Saudi Arabia to South Africa. So if you're making that move here, reach out to me. I'd be absolutely honored to be the person who gets to help you make that move and help you find the perfect home during your transition here to Salt Lake and the greater metro area. My information is on the screen, so reach out to me. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I post videos about everything you need to know when it comes to living in Salt Lake City, and you don't want to miss a thing. So click that subscribe button and then the little bell so you get notified when I release new videos each and every week. With that said, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.